The Nintendo Switch quietly became a JRPG machine over the years, hosting everything from remakes of classics to brand new adventures that feel like instant favorites. And while we're all awaiting Nintendo's next wave of Switch 2 releases, I thought it would be fun to look at some games we can enjoy now. Because aren't we all always discovering new games to add to our backlogs? In this video, I'll be highlighting 10 standouts. Games that show just how diverse, exciting, and memorable the JRPG experience can be on Switch. Hey friends, I'm Autumn. Welcome back to Cozy Cartridges, where we explore calm, nostalgic, and thoughtful gaming experiences, specifically of the JRPG and farming/life sim variety. If that sounds like your vibe, grab your favorite drink or snack, get comfy, and let's dive in. Some may think of Harvestella as Square Enix's attempt to break into the farming/life sim genre, but this treasure of a game is more JRPG sci-fi adventure with a touch of farming sprinkled on top. You, as an amnesiac protagonist, of course, begin in a quiet village where daily rhythms revolve around tending crops, cooking meals, and building relationships with townsfolk. But that's only a minor part of the gameplay loop to aid in your adventures. Hanging over everything is Quietus, a mysterious season of death that halts life and devastates your fields. The JRPG side kicks in as you venture beyond your homestead into sprawling dungeons and lush biomes, battling monsters in real-time combat while unraveling the mystery of Quietus. It's equal parts meditative and dramatic, with a melancholic beauty that sets it apart from both typical farming sims and traditional RPGs. And if Harvestella blends everyday rhythms with high-stakes sci-fi, Trials of Mana takes us back to a pure, classic form of high fantasy adventure, with a remake that breathes life into a legend. Originally a Super Famicom classic, this 3D remake modernizes one of Square Enix's most beloved RPGs. You choose 3 heroes from a cast of 6 to embark on a journey to claim the legendary Mana Sword. And that choice completely changes your story path and party dynamics. The action combat is snappy and fluid, letting you dodge, unleash combos, and cast magic on the fly. Layered on top is a deep class change system, allowing your heroes to evolve into specialized roles, from agile duelists to powerful spellcasters, with branching options depending on light or dark upgrades. Combined with its high fantasy setting, colorful environments, vibrant soundtrack, and replayability, this is a JRPG that feels timeless. From a modernized classic to something many fans never had the chance to play before, Rhapsody, Marl Kingdom Chronicles finally brings long-lost fairy tale adventures to Nintendo Switch, Rhapsody 2 and Rhapsody 3. They're part of the charming Marl Kingdom series, where battles are turn-based but filled with whimsical fairy tale flair. Instead of grim warriors, your party might include puppet companions, magical girls, and a lot of musical numbers. Yes, actual songs woven into the story. The narrative leans heavily into themes of family, love, and legacy, carrying forward from the original cult classic, Rhapsody, a musical adventure. If you've been on this channel before, you know I love that game on Nintendo DS. What makes these games shine is their heart. They embrace humor and levity, but with surprisingly emotional payoffs. For many players, this collection is the first real chance to experience an overlooked slice of JRPG history. But if fairy tales and musicals feel too light for you, let's take a turn into something much darker and more modern. I'm sure many of you would name Persona 5 or even Persona 4 as your favorite series entry, but Persona 3 marked the series shift into the modern era, and Portable brings that experience to handheld form with some streamlined elements. You play as a high schooler balancing daily life, attending classes, forging bonds with friends, and exploring a vibrant city, with nightly trips into Tartarus, a massive dungeon filled with shadows. The game introduced the social link system, where relationships translate into tangible combat power through persona fusion. Its darker themes, mortality, isolation, the looming presence of death, make it one of the most striking entries in the series. The portable version also adds the option of a female protagonist, changing a few interactions and offering a fresh take on the story. Seriously, Atlas, was it so difficult to add a female protagonist to Persona 3 Reload? And if Persona feels like a mix of supernatural dread and modern school life, Nihon Falcom had their own spin on that idea, with Tokyo Xanadu EX+. If you love both the Persona and Legend of Heroes Trail series, you might also enjoy this next entry. Tokyo Xanadu may be less known than Falcom's other titles, but it's a strong action JRPG set in modern Tokyo. You play as Ku Tokisaka, an ordinary high school student who discovers the eclipse, an alternate dimension filled with monsters. Gameplay alternates between slice-of-life activities in a grounded, like I mentioned, modern Tokyo setting, and dungeon crawling and fast-paced action combat. Structurally, it shares DNA with the Persona and Trails series. Between school, part-time jobs, and hanging out with friends, you'll steadily build a routine before diving into the eclipse for battles. Consider this game a Persona Light, delivering a similar mix of modern life and supernatural mystery, paired with action-driven combat that keeps things lively. And speaking of Nihon Falcom, Trails Through Daybreak continues Falcom's legendary world building. You play as Van Arkwright, a Spriggan, part detective, part fixer for hire, taking on jobs that range from small community requests to complex political cases. And yes, you can also start your Trails journey here, as this entry features a completely new cast of characters. You may miss some of the references, but hey, that's what Google is for. The story here is layered and character-driven, with NPCs who evolve over time and a city that feels alive with detail. For the first time in the series, combat blends turn-based and actional elements, giving you flexibility to approach encounters your way. And of course, you still have your usual weapons, orbs, shards, and magic. Like every other Trails games, the magic of Daybreak lies in the world and relationship building. Every corner of the city feels meaningful, and every side story contributes to a sense of place. Now, let's leave the bustling streets of Calvert behind for sweeping fantasy battlefields, because it's time for Fire Emblem Engage. While Three Houses leaned into social simulation and an epic story, Engage brings the spotlight back to tactical battles. So much so that it is considered by many to have the best gameplay and map design in the entire series. You lead the Divine Dragon and their allies across grid-based maps where positioning, weapon matchups, and unit synergy are the keys to victory. The central gimmick is the Engage system, letting characters summon legendary heroes from Marth to Ike, granting powerful abilities and flashy transformations. Outside of battle, there's still a hub area to interact with allies, build bonds, and prepare equipment. Visually vibrant and battle-focused, Engage offers one of the purest tactical RPG experiences on Switch, marrying series traditions with modern polish, all in very bright colors. And if Engage is about sharp tactics on a grid, Vanillaware took strategy in a whole different direction with their lush and painterly epic Unicorn Overlord. Unlike Fire Emblem's grid system, Unicorn Overlord plays more like real-time strategic hybrid, where units move across large maps, capturing strongholds, managing resources, and clashing with enemy squads. The emphasis is on squad composition. You build teams of characters with complementary abilities, set them off in direction, then watch them auto-battle in an elegant dance of strategy. Of course, you can stop your units mid-battle if you realize you messed up. Beyond the tactics, there's an expansive world to explore, full of side quests, hidden towers, and recruitable characters. It's both a sweeping epic and a showcase of Vanillaware's signature artistry, blending strategic depth with visual splendor. From sweeping armies and painterly fantasy, let's take a sharp turn into something far more apocalyptic. If Unicorn Overlord is about building armies and liberating kingdoms, Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance is about surviving in a broken world and deciding what kind of order will emerge from the ruins. An expanded definitive edition of SMT5, Vengeance offers a full new story route alongside the original's already massive campaign. Because, well, Atlas. Anyway, you play as a student in Tokyo who is suddenly transported to a ruined, demon-infested wasteland, fusing with a mysterious entity to become a being known as the Nahobino. SMT's hallmark demon negotiation system returns. Talk, bribe, or trick demons into joining your team, then fuse them into ever more powerful allies. Battles are punishing but rewarding, built around exploiting weaknesses for extra turns. Vengeance adds new demons, mechanics, and quality of life improvements, making it one of the most complete and modern SMT entries to date. And arguably easier than some of the older, notoriously difficult SMT entries, which is why I've played 5 and have not yet touched 3 or 4. Octopath Traveler 2 shifts the focus from apocalyptic states to 8 individual stories, each one a small, intimate journey that weaves into something grander. Team Asano perfected the HD 2D style that captured our attention over the last few years with Octopath Traveler 2, bringing together stunning visuals with a nostalgic feel for classic 16-bit RPGs. You choose from 8 characters, each with their own unique storylines, and their paths gradually intersect across a richly detailed world. Since I heard the second one was a vast improvement in every way over the original Octopath, I never bothered to play the first game, so it's also totally okay if you decide to skip the first one as well. Stories aren't related. Combat here is turn-based but dynamic, built around breaking enemy defenses and boosting your attacks at the right moment. Each character brings a unique skill set, encouraging you to experiment with different party combinations. It is a love letter to JRPGs of the past with modern polish that makes it both familiar and fresh. So those are the 10 JRPGs on Nintendo Switch that showcase how much variety the genre has to offer. From small personal stories to grand epics, from lighthearted whimsy to darker adventures, the Switch really has something for everyone who loves JRPGs. Thanks so much for joining me as I look back at some of my favorite JRPGs on the Switch. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for more cozy content. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Which JRPGs on Switch stood out the most to you? Are there any games I need to absolutely prioritize playing? Because I also have a massive backlog. Until next time, may your stories stay stellar, your adventures exciting, and your gaming cozy.